Hi everyone, welcome back to Edu Vlogs. You probably already have an idea on what will be our next content for today based on our past videos. Yes, you got it right. Today we will be talking more about communication. First on the list is the components of communication. Take it away, my edmates.
What is communication? Communication came from the Latin word communicare, meaning to share or to be in relation with. Communication is an exchange of ideas, feelings, or meanings between two or more persons through speaking, writing, or using other medium. According to McFarland, communication is a process of meaningful interaction among human beings. More specifically, it is the process by which meanings are perceived and understandings are reached among human beings.
There are many ways that people communicate. Since language is deeply ingrained in culture, communication types and style vary. The general components of communication include the following: verbal, non-verbal, and paraverbal. Let's watch this video.
What can I get started for you today? You are 3 Paul McCartney. Something. Assassination. Abraham Lincoln. You, me, gun, shoot. 3 shots. All right. So, 3 lattes, 3 mochas, double chocolate chip muffin, and 3 shots. No assassinations. Oh, and 3 Paul McCartney CDs.
And that is an example of the 2 components of communication, the verbal and non-verbal. But what really are these 2 components?
Verbal communication includes not only the language and words spoken, but the tone they are spoken in, the cadence and speed, as well as formal versus informal language. In the video, the counter staff used different tone and his voice is loud and clear when speaking with the customer. However, he misunderstood what the customer was trying to say for his order. The staff misinterpret what the customer is saying because he misreads the customer's body language. Like what the customer is attempting to communicate about his order, in which he requests 3 shots, but at first, the staff believes it is all about assassination because the customer is pointing his finger and forming it like a gun.
Nonverbal communication refers to the process through which people communicate information about their feelings, needs, intentions, attitude, and thoughts without using words or verbal language. It includes facial expressions, eye contact, gestures, postures, and body language. In the video, it shows that the server misunderstood what the customer was trying to say. It seems that they are playing Pinoy Henyo, resulting to wrong order information. In the end, based on the customer's facial expression, he got the wrong order and quantity.
Now, for the last component of communication, the paraverbal or paralanguage.
Tingting, order ito ng ina mo.
Ina mo rin, ba't ka nagmumura?
Bakit ganon? Hindi ako nagmumura. Ang sabi ko, order ito ng ina mo.
Lilinawin mo.
Paraverbal is a form of nonverbal communication that emphasizes body language and voice nuances as means of expressing thoughts and feelings. It includes the pitch, tone, and volume, and even intonation of speech. It is how we say something and not what we say. In the video clip presented, Vic Soto misunderstood the statement of the other guy. He thought that he was cursing, but in fact, the guy was just telling him that the parcel of Vic's mother has just arrived. See? The manner you say the words and the intonation with which you say them has an impact on the listener. And those are the components of communication.
Now let's proceed to our next topic, which is the phases of communication.
There are 2 phases of communication process. The first phase is the transmission phase. To begin the transmission phase, the sender decides on the message, which is the information the sender wants to communicate. Now, that is what you call a message. Next, the message is being encoded by means of encoding to translate the message into symbols or language. In here, we can see that the sender is typing his message. The third stage is the transmission phase, is what medium of communication is he going to use in order to transmit his message. The medium that the sender uses in this example is through a chat or email. Moving on, the receiver then decodes or interprets the message for themselves. Decoding is the process of turning communication into thoughts.
The second phase of communication is the feedback phase. In here, the receiver is now going to be the sender.
The receiver will now send his or her feedback or reply to the sender. Just like in the transmission phase, it will start with the receiver having his or her message or reply. The sender will now encode his or her message and deliver it to the receiver. After receiving the message, the receiver will now decode and interpret the message. Now, let's summarize this topic with this.
And for our final topic for today, we have miscommunication.
Have you ever experienced having an argument or disagreement with someone over what someone said and later you found out that that person meant something completely different from what was running through your head? Have you ever experienced talking with someone and wondered what he or she talking about? These cases are some of the scenarios we are experiencing because of what we call miscommunication.
Miscommunication is a situation where there is a mistake in expressing thoughts or a misperception of either of the interlocutors. The reasons for these inadequacies may be varied, but they usually result in confusion and frustration for both parties involved. It can sometimes lead to a cascade of effect that can leave the door open for conflict and other issues. Let's watch this video.
까르보나라. 까르보나라. 까르보나라.
토니 몬타나?
오. 까르보나라.
라치몬다라.
까르보나라.
라지볼라라.
얘를 처음으로 보네. 팀이 여기 보네.
라지모라라. From the videos that you just watched, there was obviously a miscommunication. Why and how does miscommunication happen?
Miscommunication often stems from misalignment of explicit and implicit meaning between the sender and the receiver. There are straightforward people, while others expect you to read between the lines. Misunderstanding happen because there is a big drop-off between the sender and the receiver. When, for example, you send a message, it goes through a lot of processes before it arrives to the receiver. The original meaning you want to convey may get lost. Then, the decoding process takes place when a person interprets what you wrote and distorts the original message further.
There are factors that causes miscommunication. Some of the most common ones are: first, noise. Too much noise can lead to distraction on both the sender and the receiver. Second, jargons. Overuse of jargon means people disconnect from your message, feel isolated, and ultimately lead to miscommunication. Third, slang. People speaking the same language who may have came from different regions could have dialectical and accents differences. The use of slang and regional colloquialism can create numerous problems that can lead to misunderstanding. Some other inclusions also implicit versus explicit communication and poor listening and speaking skills.
How to avoid miscommunication? First, be as articulate as possible. Second, ask questions in case of doubt. Third, identify the problem. Fourth, listen well. And lastly, follow up.
And there you have it. We hope you learned a lot of things in this video. May you always be reminded how communication plays a vital role in our daily lives. Thank you everyone for watching. This has been Edu Vlogs. See you later. Bye!